the board. Call the meeting to order at 5:34. Attendance, we have all 5 board members present this evening. Public comments, closed session. Pursuant to board policy number 2350, public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person or 30 minutes per topic. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter on the meeting agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or recording secretary prior to the point in the meeting at which the agenda item is called. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter not on the meeting agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or recording secretary prior to the point in the meeting for open forum on non-agenda items. Public comment cards are available at the information table at the rear of the boardroom from the recording secretary or online. We ask that all speakers come to the podium to address the board. Thank you. We have some speakers this evening, and I'd like to invite all of them to inside the room back here for a closed session. Turn it back. We'll adjourn the closed session in the other room.
that is all signed. Yes, yes. I don't know if Bridget needs to sign it. She signed it.
On stage.
Yes, they've chatted with her via Zoom, so, but she has not responded. She might pick it up. I don't think I need to do anything yet. Barbara, do you need different agenda? Just
They want four, that's theirs. AVC. Therefore, tomorrow. Okay, cool.
Call the meeting to order at 7:03. Roll call. We have everyone here, including Mr. Rivera. Welcome. Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Harvey, please.
Please place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Um, let me do it here. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Okay, public comments, agenda and non-agenda items. Pursuant to board policy number 2350, public comment may be limited to 3 minutes per person or 30 minutes per topic. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter on the meeting agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or recording secretary prior to the point in the meeting at which the agenda item is called. All speakers who would like to comment regarding a matter not on the meeting agenda must submit a public comment card to the board president or recording secretary prior to the point in the meeting for open forum on non-agenda items. Public comment cards are available at the information table at the rear of the boardroom, from the recording secretary, or online. We ask that all speakers come to the podium to address the board. Thank you. We have one public comment card, Mr. Eugene Hernandez.
Eugene Hernandez, Antelope Valley Green Party. I was very much perturbed by the comments by Barbara Gaines, the chairperson, regarding the last community meeting that you guys had, in which you had a little internal poll, like a junior high school student council, where all the popular kids are against the unpopular kid, which is Mike Reeves. I thought that was very unfair. I thought it was very unfair by Barbara and the other members of the board to criticize Mike Reeves for going to community meetings. You know, I used to get a weekly report from Steve Buffalo about all his activities for the week, that he was first in line to see the Disney movie, the Elementals, that he putters around the garden, that he hangs around with his all-white alumni, and occasionally attends a sports event of Antelope Valley College. What is wrong with Michael Reeves attending community events? All of you live in a very wealthy communities. It wouldn't hurt you one bit to step out and meet the community, meet the Latino organizations, meet the organizations like Dolores Huerta, which distributes food to poor people. I know you're satisfied with the stipend that you get and the free meal, but it wouldn't hurt you one bit to learn about the community like Mr. Reeves does. You know, it's terribly unfair. And for asking questions, Barbara, you said to the press, we can't stand that Mike Reeves asks questions, that he comments, that he asks to speak. What kind of example is that for the Antelope Valley ASO? You want a lockstep? You want a lockstep that everyone votes the same way that you do? You know, you're against Mike Reeves. He's the unpopular member of the board, but you guys have free time. I know Steve Buffalo has free time to go to community meetings. How about the rest of you? You know, you shouldn't just be walled in your wealthy communities and not rub shoulders with people of the Antelope Valley who are poorer than you. You should have a public obligation that comes from your heart, Ms. Gaines, to meet the Latino students. You know, the Antelope Valley is a poor community. There's lots of poor people who live here. You know, you should get to know them. You should extend yourself like Mike Reeves does. Go to community meetings and Find out what people think. You know, you're all walled in this once a month meeting where you get a good stipend. You know, step outside your comfort zone for once in a while. Be a good example for the students of Antelope Valley College. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Okay. Report out of closed session. 4.4 evaluation of superintendent president. On a motion made by Mr. Michael Adams, seconded by Ms. Michelle Harvey, with a 4-1 vote, the board approved the amendment to the superintendent president's contract. The vote was as follows: Barbara Gaines, aye. Michelle Harvey, aye. Michael Adams, aye. Michael Reeves, no. Steve Buffalo, aye. Employee recognition. Approval of resolution number 23-24-1, dedicating the Rich Sim Art Gallery in the future Cedar Hall building. Do I have a motion?
Move approval. Second.
Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
Resolution number 23-24-1, the Board of Trustees, Antelope Valley Community College District, honoring faculty member Rich Sim and dedicating the Rich Sim Art Gallery. Whereas Professor Rich Sim was the longest serving faculty of Antelope Valley College since he joined the Fine Arts Department in 1967, teaching studio arts and art history courses during his 56 years of service to the students, college, and community. Whereas Professor Sim developed and established the college ceramics program, sharing his knowledge, artistry, and technical expertise with countless students and mentoring the next generation of clay artists in the community. Whereas Professor Sim devoted countless hours to supporting and helping our student veterans using exploration and creativity in clay as a method for veterans to find healing and peace. Whereas Professor Sim relentlessly lobbied for support of the art department and ardently demonstrated the arts are worth fighting for, resulting in the art department's current breadth and success. Whereas Professor Sim's contributions as a dedicated, caring, passionate, and compassionate colleague shaped the mutual camaraderie of the art department and will be sorely missed. Whereas Professor Sim tirelessly modeled how the privilege of teaching can be wielded to stroke lifelong passions, launch artistic careers, and shepherd students through sensitive and vulnerable phases of life. Whereas Professor Sim bravely advanced ceramic scholarship, traveling across Asia to research ancient methods, including several daring attempts to recover the formula for the rare Chinese royal sky blue celadon glaze. Whereas Professor Sim was recognized for his tireless dedication and kindness while always maintaining a high standard of excellence in teaching and making the arts accessible for all students, and was honored as the Academic Senate Scholar in Residence for the 1985-86 academic year. Now, therefore, be it resolved and ordered, the Board of Trustees of the Antelope Valley Community College District, that Rich Sim is officially recognized and commended for his dedication and service to the students and community of Antelope Valley College by dedicating the Rich Sim Art Gallery in the future Cedar Hall building. Resolved this 10th day of July, 2023. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes.
President Gaines, I'd like to point out, Mr. Sim is here. Please stand.
Mr. Sim, please know that the whole campus contributed to this resolution, from your colleagues in the Faculty Senate to the Faculty Union, to your department and division. It was a campus-wide collection of well wishes and thanks to you. And you'll be receiving a signed copy of this resolution and a photo, a rendering of the art gallery. We're going to have it framed and give that to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for so many years of wonderful, amazing service. Thank you.
Okay, 12.1, presentation of Tech Force Foundation, Mr. Steve DiMarzio.
Just waiting for the presentation. So good evening, Dr. Zealot, President Gaines, members of the board and staff. Thank you for allowing me to talk about Tech Force, which is prevalent at your college. My name is Steve DiMarzio. I am currently a member, the clerk of the Westside Union School District Board of Trustees, but I'm not here as a school board member. I'm here as Tech Force Foundation as an ambassador. Right. One of these should work. Let me turn it on first. There we go. All right. Some fast facts. Jobs and job security. So for the technicians, we're talking about the technical field where there's aviation, automotive, welding. There are 5 open jobs to every new tech graduate. The U.S. alone needs over 250,000 new entrants a year just to keep up with demand. So over almost 750,000, you need technicians for auto, diesel, collision, whether it's ICE, hybrid, EV, CNG, hydrogen, from now until 2025. The aviation industry, so we're Aerospace Valley, it currently employs more than 150 technicians maintain and repair aviation equipment and systems. So Tech Force projects nearly 78,000 new entrants will be needed to fill, and my picture is blocked off. Can we unblock that? There we go. Thank you. So the interesting part is only 3% of current techs are women in these fields. They make up the majority of the population of the United States, over 50%, yet they only fill 3%. So we're trying to, Tech Force is trying to address that. And it is future driven. So it's no longer the auto, the oil mechanic. Oh, thank you. Who just changed the oil. So it's more technicians, because the average car today has 70 computers, over 100 million lines of code. And even the Tech Force Board of Directors, who's President Angie Babin, who's the Vice President of Supply Chain, Caliber Collision, there's three of them in town, Caliber Collision. These are really high-tech careers. It is STEM, the new collar type of work. So it's no longer considered the blue collar, upper blue collar, they call it the new collar. So how technology, how STEM, oh, thank you. So how STEM applies. So if you look at the yellow line, the off-white line, that is upper white collar. The blue line is upper blue collar, the new collar. You can see for math, more math is needed at these blue collar fields, these upper blue collar fields, these new collar. Maybe not initially as starting, but if you want to get your certifications and move up, there's no time limit on, you don't have to be 2 years. If you get your certs, your ASE certs and all your other certs, you can move up quickly, understand STEM. You can rapidly increase. In fact, interesting part is I just saw the new dealers in California, they need 4 techs for every, so whether it's Rally, Kia, Camacho, they need 4 techs, just auto techs on the floor because they're short that much. And someone asked from the Southern Kern, I think it was Robert, hey, what about STEAM? Well, STEAM is also important activity because you need to think arts and creativity. So I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to play a little bit of this video here.
It's magical. I can't tell you how it happens. I just know that magic happens in these walls. It's a really cool thing to be a part of. Girl Gang Garage and everything we do here is pure passion. My name is Bogey. I'm a master automotive technician, founder of Girl Gang Garage, but most importantly, an advocate for women in the trades.
We're taking an old platform Volvo
A 1961 Volvo,
PV 544 body with a new platform Volvo,
the 2019 S60 hybrid.
merging them together into one epic build.
This is a virtually brand new car. Everything you could possibly want as far as an amenity in a car in the body of a 1961 PV 544. Girl Gang Garage came about really organically. The project originally grew out of my desire to continue learning. And I had this crazy harebrained idea that I wanted to buy an old vehicle, restore it from the ground up, and invite all of the amazing women that I've known over the years who work in different areas of the industry to come and play on this project with me. So many women were interested in coming out and learning. Newbies and hobbyists were saying, oh, this is a safe place where I can learn. I want to come work on this. Over the course of that first build, we had about 90 women from 23 different states who participated in it. So here we are, all female build number 3. This 2019 S60 that we're working with is light years apart from classic old cars, with more control modules than the first space shuttle.
There's no diagrams. You kind of have to engineer just about everything that you're doing. So the creativity is huge.
This is absolutely insane. The S60 is way longer and way wider than the PV. So figuring out how to cram all of this stuff into that little teeny tiny body is actually incredibly challenging.
I grew up with people always telling me, put down that tool. What are you doing in the garage? That's for boys. So being able to actually be out there and kind of be a role model to other women, showing them like, hey, girls can do that too.
Women make up less than 2.5% of all automotive tradespeople.
There needs to be increased visibility in the women that do amazing work every day in the automotive trades.
And we belong there just as much as anybody else does. It has been proven time and time again that diversity makes a company more successful. Volvo is taking action to increase the number of female technicians and empowering those female technicians and keeping them within the automotive industry and within Volvo.
I love being here at Girl Gang, getting to share my passion with the other ladies. It really changes things when you get to make those connections and those bonds with other women that go through some of the same struggles.
I think it's really important for other women who are curious about this career path to see other faces that look like theirs, to empower women through automotive. That is the number one thing. Stay curious. Take things apart. Figure out how they go back together. If it's something that you love, don't let anything get in the way of that. It's about doing it because you love it and nothing else matters.
So there is the finished product. That was shown in November of last year at SEMA at the BAS booth. You can see quite an impressive job. And that was a running model. So it is, and it was various skill sets. So women, experienced women working on it, master welders, metal workers, to somebody who didn't even know what a 10 millimeter wrench was. So lots of women worked on this and they were proud to be part of this. So what about Tech Force? So we are nonprofit based in Arizona, dedicated support technicians all across the US. So we do this through scholarships, student event tickets and VIP tours, network opportunities, and job posting. So we're going to talk a little bit about the network after this. Tech Force purpose and mission. So you can read it. So non-sector, nonprofit, 501c3 committed to all those sectors. So it's collision, diesel, trucking, agricultural, construction, race, motorsports, restoration, welding, and other emerging technologies. So within the last 4 years, they created a one-of-a-kind network. I joined about 4 years ago. I'm kind of top of the leaderboard, but the whole point is joining the network. Anybody could join. It's free. You just need to be 13 and up to join. So you have flyers. You have a QR code. Anybody who gives me a verified profile tonight gets a T-shirt. Anybody in the audience can get a T-shirt. So I got pretty cool T-shirt. Just need to join. So we're just going to talk a little bit about the network here.
Tech Force, the first and only peer network for next-gen tech. Welcome to Tech Force, a platform dedicated to launching and advancing the careers of next-generation technicians. People like you, students, instructors, working techs, industry leaders, you. Showcase your school, certification, job, and award. Post your current project and follow your friends. Flex your talent. Follow industry trends and connect with future employers. Connect. Works on all devices. Compete with other users and climb the leaderboard in daily and special trivia. Win. Redeem prizes with your points from industry partners. Ticket. Attend events and see what's going on in your area. Scholarship. $1.5 million in scholarships awarded annually. Engage. Access free videos and content to explore your areas of interest. Explore your passion, flex your talent, build your career. Join techforce.org.
So why is the network important? There's scholarships out there. So it was 1.5 million last year. It is $2.3 million this year in 2023. There are student experiences. So in fact, from VIP tickets to Meekum auctions to race day experience. In fact, in April, when the Long Beach restarted, there were free tickets we had to go down to Long Beach for students. They need to join the network and apply, they get free tickets. Transportation, you had to make your own way down, but you could get in for free. There are trainings. So there are videos out there. Most of them are exclusive to the website to go in there. Not only are they good for students, they're good for enthusiasts to learn more about certain technologies. There's and also for teachers to refresh on their skill set. And there are job postings out there too. So not only for to apply for a job once you graduate out of AVC, but also internships are available there in there too. So the whole point is, my job here is to get people to join the network. Anybody in the audience can join the network. So here's a type of scholarships. Majority of scholarships are need-based. So if a student's going to school, he's got a flat tire, he's got to fix his car, pay money for the car, he's learned how to fix automobiles, they'll give him money. You just need to apply for the scholarship because we want to keep students in school so they graduate and get a good job. And the current goal for scholarships to increase the number of individually sponsored scholarships or donations. So a lot of it is corporate, but the push is more individual. Anybody could join and not only sponsor a scholarship, but just give cash donation or even in-kind donations. So example, I'm touting myself a little bit, but I'm sponsoring a yearly scholarship in the name of Lynn St. James. So guys know Lynn St. James, you're dating yourself, but very accomplished driver in the late 80s, early 90s, and she's still active today, even post her racing career. So I think she's a wonderful woman, and I gladly honor her name, the scholarship. So here's how to join the network. I'll give it a little time so people can scan it. Just need to give me, you'll put in your, I would say, put in your personal email, not your college email. So, and then you just need to verify your profile and you can take it from there and you'll get a free t-shirt. I'll hang around tonight if anybody's going to join and prove that they have a profile. So here's AVC on the network. So you guys are already on the network. You're there prominently, and there's your different things you offer. You offer collision, refinishing, aviation. I think you're offer welding in there too. Here's some AVC. So this is a Google at work doing data mining. So here's your 2021 graduates. I just showed some areas of study. So at the top, as in 2021 is 9.8%. But just scrolling down, you got airframe mechanics and aircraft maintenance 2.5, airframe and power plant 0.2. I know you guys have new facilities here. They're fabulous. In fact, Bogey, who was here during the March Antelope Valley School Board Association, she was quite impressed with your automotive. She was quite impressed with your paint booths in your automotive. So you guys have great stuff, and you guys have fabulous opportunity to increase the percentage, because the key is we need to raise the number of technicians nationwide. And the beauty of technicians, your skill set is portable. You can go, hey, you can stay in the Antelope Valley. I can move. If you got your skill set, you can take it. You can take it with you. You can relocate wherever you want because your skills go with you. So here's an interesting thing too. As we were there, this contest was going on, and it was nominated students. You guys can read it as well as I can. These are future techs. These are ones that are already in tech schools. So I can't click the link. So if somebody back can click the bottom link, please. Thank you. So there were 10 finalists. You can scroll down just a little, so you can stop right there. So those that, so from restoration to diesel to automotive to motorcycle, you can see this Each of these finalists get a prize. Cash prize is about $1,500. The grand prize winner out of the 10 gets over $4,000 in prizes. So as you can see, Teresa Saka, who is your aviation category winner, she was from Antelope Valley College. So, and so I had some inside information. So the total number of votes cast is about 4,700 votes nationwide, which doesn't sound like, that's why the word needs to get out. That the grand prize winner, Taylor, she got about 1,500 votes. Teresa got about 700 votes. So it didn't take much more, and she could easily become the grand finalist. Okay, can we go back to the PowerPoint? Thank you. Yep. Thanks. So we won't go through that. So how can school boards help? She was just touting the future text, which that contest was in March. It was a quick turnaround type. So I tried sharing on Facebook to get out the vote. So how can school boards help? Well, anyone can join the Tech Force Network, individual schools, explore the resources that are there. It's free. There are some education resources. That link is dated. They're updating the education resources. And our job, at least my job, and hopefully your job, is promote the network to students, teachers, and staff, because the minimum age to join is 13 years old. So you guys got a perfect opportunity here for anyone to join. Even ones that are doing the social science, they're free to join because this may interest them. So, and the last point is to advocate for a career technical education, because four-year college isn't for every student. We know that. And as we learned from the past, is to remove the stigma that it is a lesser career than a four-year college. This is what got us in the bind in the first place, is people going to four-year colleges, graduate hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and do not have a job. They can go to AVC and probably come out within the first year, if they're on their own, probably come out debt-free because they'll be hired right off the spot. Because the starting salary just for a technician in California is about $40,000. However, they can move up quickly, probably within a couple of years, if they get their certs to about $75,000. The top in just automotive is $150,000. And I know aviation techs do quite a lot better. So the opportunities are there for these techs. And expand programs and budget and staff allow. You guys have a great start. Facilities are great. We just need to build on that. And just push STEM, STEM, STEM. And there's a quick snapshot, education resources. This will be updated. And follow us on social media. The biggest thing is just remember techforce.org. The trifold's got the QRC on the back if you lose the little square in the lower right. So I welcome everyone to join. And does anybody have any questions? If not, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. DiMarzio. Okay. 12.2, presentation of intercollegiate athletics. I'd like to welcome Dr. Ben Party to the podium to do his presentation.
Thank you very much. Dr. Zealot, President Gaines, members of the Board of Trustees, Cindy Vargas and I want to thank you for giving us this opportunity to present to you today the 2022-23 Antelope Valley College Intercollegiate Athletic Program. This is my third month anniversary here at Santa Barbara Antelope Valley College. I want to thank you. I want to thank the following individuals for their help with a seamless onboarding process and the implementation of initiatives I will be introducing this evening. Sherry Langeman, my administrative assistant, Byron Devers, sports information specialist, Danielle Harris, women's equipment technician, Russell Gordon, men's equipment technician, and Cindy Vargas, our head softball coach, assistant AD, and department chair. About 2 weeks ago, Cindy set up a meeting with longtime game management personnel. A game would not be able to be run without individuals, game announcers, scoreboard, shot clock, statisticians. What I learned during this meeting is how much these 19 individuals love Cindy Vargas and Antelope Valley College and are marauders through and through. The love of Antelope Valley College seems to be a reoccurring theme when I'm out in the community and I'm meeting individuals, either have a story about Antelope Valley, their time here, or just their love for this institution. It never ceases to amaze me, the love this community has for this institution. There are two other people that I need to thank personally. One is Dr. Jennifer Zealot and Dr. Howard Davis for giving me this opportunity to come to this amazing institution and work with great faculty and staff. I've been in this game for 31 years, and I've worked for a lot of college presidents. But in my 3-month stay here, my time with Dr. Zealot, there's a leader there that is compassionate, consultative, trustworthy, and truly is passionate about the success of our students. So thank you, Dr. Zealot, for giving me this opportunity, and good fortune to you in the future. Ms. Vargas and I have broken down our presentation into 2 sections. First, I will address demographics and program initiatives, and Cindy will review team and student athlete accolades. Each of you have been given a packet that contains our athletic department contact list, the end of season report that will be used this fall and spring, and the names of the 22-23 student athletes that receive postseason accolades and receive scholarships to continue to play post-Antelope Valley College. When viewing demographics, it shows we had 414 student athletes enrolled during the 22-23 season, with 355 competing, while 59 student athletes either were gray shirting or red shirting. Of the 355 competing athletes, there were 226 males and 129 females. These numbers are not proportional when compared to our overall student population of 56 female and 44% male, which brings up a Title IX statement of concern with regards to compliance. However, Title IX provides colleges with 3 opportunities to be in compliance with the law. Colleges that offer large sport programs such as football, baseball, and soccer are not able to satisfy the proportionality requirement of Title IX. However, Antelope Valley College is compliant as it satisfies 2 of the 3 Title IX requirements. First, the college surveys incoming freshman students about their interest in sport offering. And second, by implementing women's sports of interest. This fall, we will be submitting into program review a proposal to reinstate women's sand volleyball and building a sand volleyball training and contest facility. Of the 355 student athletes enrolled in the intercollegiate athletic program, all were full-time students taking anywhere from 12 to 18 units each semester, which resulted in 468 FTES this year. When looking at ethnicity and race data, our highly diverse intercollegiate athletic program continues to be a gateway to higher education, which remains the greatest engine for social mobility in today's society. When it comes to student athletes' GPAs, we are a few points higher than other Antelope Valley College students in both the fall and the spring. However, when we break out GPA by team, there is room for improvement. Thus, the implementation of the Student Athlete Academic Achievement Zone. The Achievement Zone will house 36 laptop computers, check-in station, printers, and tutors. All student athletes will be required to attend the Achievement Zone 4 hours a week and student athletes with a GPA below 2.5 will be required to attend 6 hours per week. I mentioned earlier our FTES production as a department. I also see an opportunity with how our student athletes' academic success can help increase student-centered funding. This funding model recognizes degrees and certificates awarded, students who transfer to 4-year colleges or universities, and students who complete transfer level math and English their first year. Our student athletes were awarded 72 degrees and certificates this year, with 40+ student athletes transferring to 4-year colleges and universities. I believe we can increase these numbers twofold by implementing a case management model. The case management model, led by academic counselors and coaches, will ensure educational plans are on file and followed. That first-year eligible student athletes enroll in and complete transfer level math and English. And academic counselors assist second-year student athletes with filing for degrees and certificates to help them achieve their academic, transfer, career, and athletic goals. My mantra is don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. Thus, the following initiatives will bring solutions to issues we have discovered during my short tenure here at Antelope Valley College. The Student Athlete Advisory Council will be made up of 2 students from each team. We will meet each month to promote communication between athletic administrators, student athletes, and provide feedback and insight into athletic department issues. The Student Athlete Academic Achievement Zone, located in the Marauder Complex, will provide our student athletes with computer access, assistance with class assignments, the ability to print assignments, and have a quiet place to study. The Student Athlete Retreat, an evening in January that all Antelope Valley College student athletes will attend, with David Watts as a possible keynote speaker, who will address issues around being a student athlete, such as academic and athletic achievement, transfer, life skills, recruiting, and life after athletics. Esports, short for electronic sports, is a form of competition using video games. An introduction to eSport course is being developed by kinesiology instructor Dr. Brian Moses. The California Community College Athletics Association is beginning to discuss the implementation of eSport as a sanctioned sport. Our Hall of Fame. In January, reinstitute the Hall of Fame event and induct several individuals into the Antelope Valley College Athletic Hall of Fame. And last but not least, the Marauder Complex. I want to thank all of you. It has been wonderful to have our coaches in close proximity to one another and the facilities they use. The buzz within the complex is infectious. Now Cindy Vargas will walk you through our team and student athlete accolades. Thank you.
Good evening. Thanks for having us here tonight. It is my pleasure to share with you some of the many accomplishments of our athletic teams and our student athletes this past season. Not only have our student athletes been successful in the classroom, but on the field and on the court as well. 2 of our sports teams have this past season won a conference championship, which includes the women's soccer team and the women's softball team. Several of our student athletes from men's and women's golf and men's and women's cross country also made postseason competition. Both the men's and women's track teams qualified for SoCal Regionals for the first time since 2016. Madison Schaefer from the women's golf team finished top 20 in the state. Only the 3rd state final qualifier in school history. Our soccer coach, Charles Gordon, was named Western State Conference Coach of the Year for women's soccer. And as you can see, many of our student athletes were named to the all-conference teams for their respective sports for their efforts. We have provided the handout with a list of names and accomplishments. One of our athletes, Savannah Cervantes, who played for the women's softball team, was named the Western State Conference Player of the Year. She was named All-State, and she was named by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association All-American Third Baseman, which is the highest honor in the sport of softball. In fact, she was one of only 13 student athletes in the entire Southern California to be named. So needless to say, we're very proud of her. Several of our student athletes were also named as all academic scholar athletes. And last but certainly not least, 36 of our student athletes will be transferring on to 4-year colleges on athletic scholarships, and many others will be transferring on to continue their education. Again, I want to thank you so much for having us here tonight and for your continued support of our athletic programs and our student athletes. Thank you.
Let me turn my mic on here. So we do have certificates to give to all the athletes. And I just have to say, I I look out and I see the room full of students and it just brings a smile to my face. Thank you for being here. And we're really, really happy to give you these certificates. So either Ben or Cindy, would one of you do the honors of calling the names for the teams and then you all come up? Somebody do that and come up, stand on the stage. When we're all done, then the board members and our student trustee will join and we'll do a big group photo. You guys know how to do those, right? The big athlete team pictures. We're gonna do a big old team picture, okay? So we have the list here. Yeah, oh, okay.
While they're getting ready, are there any questions that you have? I'm sorry, or been. Okay.
One sport.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank
Coach.
you. Thank
Yes.
you. All right, first off, I'll announce the softball players. I don't want to mess up the names of all the soccer student athletes. Okay, so first off is Victoria Alcantar. Cadence Crampton. Natalie Gomez. Marissa Rodriguez. And Annalise Wagner.
Okay, so for me, first things first, I would like to thank you very much for having us here this evening and recognizing the wonderful accomplishment these students, athletes have succeeded with in the classroom and on the field. So thank you. Great. As well, I would like to call my coaches up, Coach Eric Ontiveros, Coach Kelsey Ruiz, and Coach Charlie Gordon. Okay, first, Kelsey Brunstein. Isabel Serta. Sam Contreras. Grace Kress. Katie Kress, Kimberly Duarte, Viola Figueroa, Carla Irata, Cassie James, Brianna Ortega, Anaya Respeto, Megan Salvazoid, Marcela Aguilar, Joanna Vasquez.
No, some get in front. Yeah, get in. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Perfect, thank you.
Hey, gentlemen, if you guys would like to run up. AJ Anderson, Yerme Valencia, I like Isaac Cervantes, Diego Torres, Nathaniel Cristales, Truly N.A., Sergio Garcia, Christian Gomez, Bruce Bautier, Rocco Bautier, Nico Martinez Galvez, Miguel Mendoza, Michael Morales, Tyler Orantes, Santo Oropeza, Daniel Pantaleon, Casey Ramirez, Brian Rios Martinez, Ricky Rodriguez, Christopher Romero, Joshua Sandoval, Francisco Braziliano, Adam Schlitt, Bruno Starling de Oliveira, Ethan Yucha, Daniel Urestida, Jaden White, and Alex Willis.
Some guys kneel down in front. That would be. Oh, well, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Good job, fellas. Line it up.
Right. Come on, Eddie. Oh, no. Mr. Neil.
Dark.
Some of you guys. You better? Is that all right?
All ready? Right. 3, 2, 1. Okay. Let me try to get it closer. Let me try to get it closer.
Smile, guys. Smile, smile, smile. Looking good.
3, 2, 1. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Good job, fellas.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Good job.
Okay, board members, before I ask for a motion on the consent agenda, I'd like you to pull consent line item CLO 186. CLO 186. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President, I have a few items I'd like to talk about. 13.6, 13.11, 13.14.
Okay, Mr. Reeves, would you like to open your discussion on 13.6?
Yes, Madam President. This is the employee travel record, and at the bottom, it has some entries for upcoming dates. Is it the policy to submit the expenses before or after the travel?
The way travel is authorized is there's a pre-approval, and sometimes there are incidentals or unaccounted for things that might send it over the pre-approval limit, but then it has to come back and be justified with explanation and that kind of thing. So the part of the process is that expenses are forecasted.
So it will be reconciled if there's differences, is that?
Absolutely, sir.
Oh, okay, thank you. 13.11 is board policy 3410 on non-discrimination. And we are adding immigration status. What does that mean?
So on the board policy, when you see red language, such as the language that you're describing here, we update our policies based on advice from the California Community League. So this is legal language that in order to be compliant with this board policy, we have been advised to include.
Okay. 13.14 is board policy 5700 intercollegiate athletics. And I think we're adding, participations in athletics equally to male, female, and transgender students consistent with state and federal law. What are we going to do to handle that?
This again is legally compliant language that we're updating our policy in order to comply with the league advice so that our policies are current. So what we'll do is we will make sure that all of our policies and our principles and practices comply with state, federal, and 3C2A regulations.
Okay, thank you very much.
Are there any other items for discussion, board members?
No.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda passes. Okay, action items. We have 14.1, approval of resolution number 2223, authorizing extension to agreement for solid waste collection and disposal. Do I have a motion? Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President. I have a copy of the agreement here and the amendment, and I'm a little confused. On one part of it, it says it's going to cost us $66,000, and another one, it's going to cost us $100,000. The question is, how many times does waste management pick up on the campus? Does anybody know that, Madam President?
This is not our cyclical waste management pickup. This is limited specifically to our construction. So this is
Oh.
construction, waste and collection and disposal.
It's not our.
It's not trash.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for clarifying.
Absolutely.
Okay, board members, 14.2, 14.3. I'm sorry. Do I have a motion? Okay. Discussion, advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, action passes. Okay, board members, 14.2, 14.3, 14.4. All three of these action items cover compensations. I would like to crunch the three of those action items together. Do I have a motion? Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President. I'm happy that the instructors, classified administrators are getting an increase. But I want everyone to be aware that, in the future, it may not be this high because in 24, 25, we may have some problems with the state budget and we won't have the money. So congratulations to everybody for getting the raise, but keep in mind in the future, it may not happen this high. Thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motions carry on 14.2, 14.3, 14.4. And we have a speaker, Ms. Pamela Ford. Speakers, excuse me.
Good evening, board members. We hear you, Mr. Rivas. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Zealot and the district's negotiation team. Bridget Cook, Shami Brar, Megan Acevis, and Harmony Miller, and the classified negotiation team, Arian Johnson, Suzanne Olson, Paul Smithhurst, and Janelle Paul. And I'd also like to thank the faculty negotiating team, and that is Jason Bowen and his negotiation team. And I'm not going to get everybody's name, so I'm not going to list all of you, but I appreciate all of you guys, because the truth is, without everybody working together and getting agreement, this just would never have happened. We had to make some decisions. We had to pull some items in order to get done with negotiations. For the classified team, we were there till 11 o'clock on June 22nd. And thanks to Dr. Zealot and her determination, we managed to pull it through. And the teams all sat there, and it was difficult, but that's what negotiations is all about, is working together, and everybody doesn't get what they want. To the point of this salary increase, this is historical. Never in the history of the district has there ever been a double-digit salary increase. And at no time has any other president or board of trustees agreed to a double-digit salary increase. And so I say thank you to all of you, because this couldn't be done without you. And there were some remarkable changes made to our contract, including the benefits cap increasing for everyone, for every employee. And I think sometimes what people forget is when our coworkers are sitting at their desks complaining because we're not there, because we're always in negotiations, when our administrators get a little peeved and ticked off because their staff aren't where they should be, because we're at the table working hard, negotiating, we're there for all of you. When we settle our contracts, everybody benefits. So although there might be the naysayers and those that don't want to pay dues and those that don't believe in unions, but y'all benefit. So next time there's a negotiation team that comes together, this is for those of you watching on, support the people on the negotiation team in the district, because it's all of us working together to get it done. And so maybe help us out some, because we go back to our desks and we go back to our work when negotiations is over. Our day doesn't end just because we're done at the table. Sorry, Bridget. Also, I think that another remarkable thing that happened in our contract is the vacation payout for employees who are in excess of contractual vacation time. I think this is going to be a win-win for the district and for the employees. And I have to tell you, classified are ecstatic that their option for an hour lunch break, if they choose to combine their breaks and 30-minute lunch together, has been resolved, and they have that option if they like to. All these things go toward boosting morale, making employees happy to come to work, knowing their families are going to have an increase in their salary to help them move towards security, and that the district cares about them. As Stephen Covey said, if you take care of your best customer, which is your employee, then your customers will be cared for, and classified indeed are your best customers. And it was by a unanimous vote that classified ratified this contract. And again, I have to say thank you to the board members, Dr. Zealot and Bridget, and our teams for all their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. All right, I'd like to call Ms. Cindy Hendricks.
Good evening, Cindy Hendricks. What Pam said, can I say that? Because I'm going to cut short my remarks. I have a lot of the same things to say. I'd like to thank the classified union, Pam's team. They worked well with us. I'd like to acknowledge our negotiations team, Jean Siegel, Alberto Mendoza, Tamara Palmettos, who is here, Kathy Osborne, who is here, Dr. Jason Bowen, who is here also. The district team, thank you, Bridget. Thank you, Dr. Zillette. It was a long and arduous process. We weren't unanimously ratified, but it was very, very close. Our members are extremely happy. I've been thanked. Several of our team members have been thanked. So thank you. After the last few years, people feel really good and feel good that the district is acknowledging what they've done. We've got some work to do. We've got some reopeners that we're going to work on, but I'm very confident moving forward, we'll get the language taken care of. So thank you, board. Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, Bridget.
Thank you, Ms. Hendricks. Ms. Kathy Osborne.
Dr. Hendricks. She has been our lead negotiator, and she has worked tirelessly, and she is truly amazing, and we truly appreciate her. We are so excited. Obviously, we're all excited. CBA put to bed, but as Bridget and I can tell you, there's a lot of work to be done, and the things we find in there are sometimes amazing that they're there. But we work together, and with Dr. Zealot leading us, we are building a spirit of trust, and we are going to come to the point where when we find these things, we can call each other and work together to correct them. With Dr. Zealot's leadership, we were able to get this done, which we did not think was, but it did. And I think what Pam said is right. Negotiations are successful when no one got everything they wanted, right? But we're all happy. So we couldn't ask for anything better. And we are going to move forward in a spirit of trust with this administration. And we feel like we're building towards the future. And we are going to get that CBA. We're going to get it corrected and make it in very strong document for all of us, right? Eliminate a lot of the problems. Look, Patty's like, yes, please. So thank you all very much to everyone, our team, and to Pam and her team. And we just look forward to working with more trust and moving forward together in a positive way. Thank you.
Okay, 14.5. Approval of salary schedule for professional expert rates of pay effective July 1st, 2023. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 14.6, approval of professional services agreement between McDougall, Bomer, Foley, Lyon, Mitchell, and Erickson, a professional corporation, and Antelope Valley Community College for legal training and preparation for collective bargaining. Do I have a motion? Any discussion?
Yes, Madam. I have a question about this. This is for $5,000. Is this a one-time cost, or is this going to be every year, or what? Can you let me know, please?
This is a one-time cost for professional development, sir.
For the Vice President of HR, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 14.7, approval of 2023-2024 athletic fall sports schedules for men's and women's sports. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.8, approval of amendment number 1 to services agreement with Stillwater's Food Service Incorporated for catering services. Do I have a motion? Any discussion?
Yes, President. I don't see any figures on here, how much it's going to cost us. And we're contracting these people for 5 years. Are they going to manage the cafeteria? Is that what we're doing?
No, sir, they are not managing the cafeteria. This allows us to utilize their services when it's needed.
So what?
They are just a catering service, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
They will not be managing our cafeteria or providing any regular ongoing services. This allows us to utilize catering through their services when we need it, and the dollar amount would then come forward.
So we don't know the amounts until they provide the services.
That's right.
That's correct.
That is correct, until until we place an order or request those services.
Okay, thank you very much.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.9, approval of amendment number 3 of agreement with Summit Urgent Care for in-person medical care to students. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President. This amendment increases the amount of money that can be spent on Summit Medical Group from 100,000 to 135,000. I'm wondering, once again, Madam President, how many students partake of this service during the year? Idea estimate?
We can get the usability statistics to you, but again, this comes from the student health fees that they pay. And by increasing the amount of the contract, we allow more vouchers to be handed out to students. So I will work with health services and get the board the usability.
Is there an increase to the students for the fees to increase the amount for Summit?
To my knowledge, there is not necessarily a plan to increase the fees. There's been no indication that we've exhausted those fees.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.10, approval of memorandum of understanding between Food Forward, Antelope Valley Partners for Health, AVPH, and Antelope Valley College to provide fresh produce to those in need. Do I have a motion?
So, second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President. Now, we pay for this service. I'm wondering why we don't go to the LA Food Bank to get food for students instead of contracting with Antelope Valley Partners for Health. Is there any reason that we don't go to the food bank?
As noted on the recommended action and the summary, we pay this organization to get surplus food that's still good, but would otherwise be thrown away. And so we're able at a discounted cost to get the food, and then we use it in our Marauder market when food is distributed to students.
So this is fresh food. It
It
isn't
is.
frozen, canned or anything.
Fresh fruits and
It's all
vegetables.
fresh produce and stuff like that.
Correct,
Yeah,
sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.11, approval of services agreement with Antelope Valley Partners for Health, AVPH, and Antelope Valley College for wraparound services to support students who are experiencing housing insecurity. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President. I was under the impression that we contracted with a local hotel motel to provide temporary housing. Is this correct? They're also contracting with Antelope Valley Partners for Health for emergency housing too?
So we have multiple contracts. This one is particularly for the shared homes, and this organization does some external monitoring that we don't have the personnel to do. And so we contract with them to do some of the case management, and then we are able to offer our students, albeit temporary, but housing.
It's at $400 a month per student. Is that correct?
I can get the details to you.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Zeller. I just have a quick question about this. I saw a recent report, 40% of Los Angeles County, there's been, I believe, a 40% increase in homelessness. Is there any way that we can have more information about our local area so that we can understand the scope of the problem, why it is needed, and bring more clarity to the situation? Maybe that's something the board would benefit from.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.12, approval of off-campus employer application through Learning Aligned Employment Program, LAEP. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.13, approval of professional services agreement with the University of Southern California and Antelope Valley Community College for institutional equity-minded training series with student equity funds. Do I have a motion? Any discussion?
Yes, President, this is $300,000. Is that correct? And that's an awful lot of money. Could we conduct these type of seminars with our own staff? Do we have to go outside and pay $300,000 to have it done?
So in the first point I'd like to make is these are funds awarded from the state through our Student Equity and Achievement Program that are designed for colleges to use just for purposes like this, to extend professional development to faculty and classified professionals and administrators, to further our understanding and our ability to offer equitable services and programming. And it also is in service not only of our student equity and achievement plan, but also our 3-year program with Achieving the Dream, our project for achieving equitable outcomes. So while we do offer in-house trainings, this is of a scope and a kind that we could not do in-house.
Well, $300,000, is that for 1 year, or how long is this duration of this training?
So it's multiple trainings episodically throughout the year to all different kinds of groups. So there's a series for brand new faculty who are being onboarded using a cohort. There's 2 cohorts for faculty, multiple cohorts for other groups on campus as well. So it's not one small group of people in one instance. It's quite expensive. And actually, when you're looking at training the number of folks that we're training, $300,000 is much more economical than trying to send all of those folks to a conference.
Well, how much money do we have in the student equity account?
Well, that's a complex question because I can get you the exact figure. There's a lot of strands to that account, and we are given annual allocations, and sometimes there's extensions on funds that to be spent when they're not fully expended within 1 year. So at this point in time, I can't give you a total, but I could get you those figures.
Do they give us a handout, brochure or something at the conclusion of all this training and tell us what they've done and what they've achieved? And
Ideally, we see the effectuation of the training in our improved services, whether that be in our interaction with students, in the documents, even as simple as what do our job announcements look like, and how are students experiencing their classes, but what do the syllabi look like? So the evidence of the training should be in our day-to-day practice.
have you seen this in action before?
Well, this is proposed training. I have worked with, many colleges have worked with USC Race and Equity Center. It's quite a well-established and reputable institute.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. 14.14, approval of the foster and kinship care and education funding from the Chancellor's Office to offer training to the resource parents. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.15, approval of the agreement between Los Angeles County of Education and Antelope Valley Community College District for the purpose of the LACO Foster Youth Services Coordinating Program to provide training to resource parents free of charge. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.16, approval of memorandum of understanding between the Regents of the University of Michigan and the Antelope Valley College for peer advisors for veteran education HAVE program. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
Motion carries. 14. I'm sorry. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, excuse me. All right, 14.17. Approval to extend the use of the cooperative piggyback agreement through Hewlett Packard Enterprise for the purchase of computer-related equipment software and services. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.18, approval of field contract for services with Golden Star Technology for audiovisual installation in L201, FA1-110, and Marauder Complex with her funds. Technology update. Do I have a motion? Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. Take it, these HERB funds are COVID funds, is that correct? And how much do we have left of the COVID funds?
So all of the COVID funds are to be committed by the end of this last fiscal year. And so all of our funds are committed.
So we've used them all, is that correct then? Okay, thank you.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.19, approval of amendment to master subscription agreement and 3-year order form with Hit Labs Incorporated. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.20, approval for payment of Year 5 software maintenance invoices for the district's ERP system under contract with Elusian Company LP. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 14.21, approval to extend the use of the NASPO Value Point Cooperative Agreement with Dell Marketing LP for the purchase of computer equipment, peripherals, and related services. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Motion
carries. 14.22, approval to reject the award rebid AVC 2022-2023 1A for gymnasium renovation project number 17-002. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, yes. Yes, 1423 and 1424 both relate to scheduled maintenance funds, board members. So I'd like to crunch those together and ask for an approval on both of those. Do I have a motion? Any discussion? Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motions carry. 14.25, board members, to 1436 are all related to Measure AV funds. Like to put those together or in one motion. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President, I think another trustee mentioned something at one time, and I hope at one point we have some kind of graph or paper that will monitor this and show us all at once all these change orders. Is that possible?
As we discussed earlier, yes, we can.
Yeah,
that happen.
it would make it simple for everybody. Thank you very much.
Advice?
I approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motions carry. Board members, 15.1 and 15.2 are informational items for your reading and consideration. Reports, 16.1, Academic Senate. I'd like to invite Ms. Tamara Palmetta to the podium.
I don't know.
Oh, I just have to actually walk up to it. Okay, good evening again. Hello. Yeah, so you guys are stuck with me till the beginning of fall. So hopefully this is my last. I do want to start just by saying I'm a little disappointed that there were 2 videos shown this evening that were not captioned. Accessibility is all of our obligation. ADA 504 of the Rehab, 508 of the Rehabilitation Act, ensure equal access. We ask our faculty to actually stop showing videos if they're not captioned or if they're captioned incorrectly. And so we can't have a stronger burden on our faculty than we hold for ourselves. So I'm just going to say, we haven't had an ADA coordinator for a while. I know we have one that's getting up and rolling, but that's kind of the purpose of having an ADA coordinator, to ensure we don't purchase vans that don't have a lift or a golf cart that isn't accessible for somebody in a wheelchair or a walker. We have to ensure that we have equal access for all of our students, our faculty, our staff, and our community who are watching. So I just want to start with that and say, we can do better. And I also want to say that I'm very excited that we do have 18 committees, rolling hiring committees for faculty. And I was very excited to see that we approved 9 full-time faculty and 10 adjunct faculty tonight in the personnel schedule. So it's very exciting. And I want to welcome and congratulate all of those faculty members who got brought on board. There is a guided pathways. Guided pathways is finally ready to start moving into the oh my goodness. It's basically, we have these the student success teams. So we're finally ready to start implementing success teams in all of the divisions. And this is going to have a big component with student services. We have an event happening this Thursday in the cafeteria. I'd like to welcome all of you to come. And this is where we're going to actually be talking about the formation of these success teams, what they look like. And this is to actually start kind of more of a case management system when you're looking at these, psychology majors or sociology majors. How do we get them through? How do we provide support that's targeted? How do we provide tutoring support? How do we get faculty that are disciplined faculty involved with these success teams that are kind of encouraging the students, letting them know what their options are. So this is a really exciting step going forward. If you're interested, there is a flyer. Alberto Mendoza is in charge of that. You can email him. He will send you the registration. What else? I want to congratulate Rich Sims. It's very exciting that he has a dedication. And I just want to say, since this probably is my last board meeting, I just want to thank the Academic Senate, the folks in the Academic Senate that kind of just made my semester as Senate President livable and wonderful. And Van Ryder, I really have to give him a big shout out, the outgoing Academic Senate President. He really provided a lot of support and assistance and stepped in a lot of times. And I just want to thank him for that. And of course, the terrific executive team that I have, Dr. Mark McGovern, Brian Pellegallo, and President-elect Hal Huntsman. And I just want to say thank you all for allowing me to serve in this role and, keep you informed of what's happening. I hope to see you all Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you. Antelope Valley College Federation of Teachers, Dr. Jason Bowen.
Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to speak to you this evening. Good evening. I had a meeting earlier. I'm just talking with President Zillette, and it was an incredible meeting. Thank you for that meeting. She brought farm fresh apricots from the farm that she visited when she was growing up, and I thought that was nice. So I grabbed a handful, and then when the meeting was over, I gave one to Kyle, and I said, "Here, this is some generosity I'm expressing." And so he said, "Thank you," and then I went and replaced it immediately. You didn't see me do that. This is a historic night. I am very proud of the contract that we were able to negotiate, and I am thankful to the Board of Trustees for all of you for unanimously approving it. Words can't express my gratitude for you and for all of those who participated in this lengthy process. This has been a very long process. It required a considerable amount of work. It was grueling, as the team can attest. We spent many nights together remotely, meeting, We reviewed material over and over again. We had assignments. And then we had our meetings with the district. And, you know, the discussions, there were times when they were exceptionally challenging, not very pleasant. And then there were times when Bridget Cook brought snacks, and then things were a lot better. But, you know, this process, I wouldn't change anything about it. What I learned is that getting real work done together is hard. And in the end, succeeding together makes everything greater for everyone. And I believe that's what we achieved with the successor agreement. So I'd like to thank first our lead negotiator, Dr. Cindy Hendricks, for the work that she did in getting this done. We have, of course, the entire union team, leadership team, not all were on the negotiations team, but they all played a role. They provided their input. So Kent Moser, Kathy Osborne, Carla Corona, Dr. Scott Lee, Alberto Larinaga, Eugene Siegel, Tamira Palmetto, and of course, I'd like to thank our CFT representative, Arian Johnson. We had this, not so much now because it's summer, but during the fall and the spring, we'd have somewhat of a tradition where every Monday morning or so, we would spend a couple of hours on the phone, brainstorming, talking about issues, and the work that we were able to get done. He played a critical role in getting that work done, so we'd like to thank him. We'd also like to thank, or I would like to thank, the district's team. Vice President Shaminder Brar joined later, but he was instrumental in helping us cross the finish line. I'd like to thank Bridget Cook for, you know, there were moments where we would make a request, and of course she would say no. But then there were moments we'd make a request and I expected her to say no. And then she said, yeah, we can do that. And I said, what? But, you know, she's full of surprises. She helped us to get across the finish line. And, you know, she was always accessible to me. So there were times when I would just walk into her office and ask a lot of questions. We talk about different issues, and she was open. So, you know, and then she'd offer me some water and a soft drink or something like that. And that always made me go back. Of course, there's Megan Aceves, who we like to thank also, interim vice president of interim director of human resources, Harmony Miller. We'd like to thank her for her work also in the contributions that she made. And President Zolette, you were amazing. And what we were able to achieve, we could not have achieved without your contributions. So I'd like to thank you personally for the role that you played in also helping us get across the finish line. Last but not least, I'm saving the last actually because the last is the greatest, and that is the great Miss Pamela Ford, Classified Union President. So thank you for everything that you've done, for the talks that we've had. I think what I'm most proud of is the camaraderie and the collaboration that we're able to demonstrate, which, you know, others have said that they've never seen this sort of, you know, unity between the two unions, but you have made that happen, and I thank you for this. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Still, we've had to pull some articles, so they're reopeners and that sort of thing. But what we have today, I am incredibly proud of. And again, thank you, everyone. I'd like to thank finally all of the faculty who put their trust in us, who've demonstrated patience and sacrifice through difficult moments. Years of difficult moments. I'd like to thank the faculty who sacrificed through the difficult moments to get to this point, and yet their highest priority has always been, as is mine, serving the students. Walking into that classroom, leaving our personal lives at the door, that's my definition of professionalism. I can walk through the classroom. I have a lot of personal issues. Some, I don't even want to comment on that. So I walk in through the classroom I leave my personal issues and emotions at the door. All of the faculty walk through those doors similarly, and we listen to our students, we teach, we listen to them give wrong answers, we're gentle. We listen to them ask penetrating questions that stump us. We admit, wow, I did not know that. I have to think about that. That is a really great question. And they beam. We let our students teach us. They say, Dr. Bowen, Dr. Hendricks, this is what I read about this theorem this morning. And it just blows my mind. And so there's the three things that are the most fulfilling for me, and I'm sure all of us it's similar. First, my greatest passion is being a father. The second greatest passion, despite everything else that I may experience, is teaching the students. And then the third greatest passion for me is serving the faculty. And so for us, what that means is we have our families, we serve the students, and then we serve each other. And so I think that this entire process through which we're able to achieve these successor collective bargaining agreements, we've been able to demonstrate that we can do all three at the highest levels and get things done. Thank you very much.
Okay, Antelope Valley College Federation of Classified Employees, Ms. Pamela Ford.
Good evening. Before I begin, Bridget, don't start my time yet. There needs to be a correction to the response for 14.6 because it's actually a 5-year contract and the $5,000 is annual for the training, which it's annual. Mr. Rivas has asked how was it more than once, and it's annual. So that needs to be corrected. It's on page 8 of 9.
Yep. Thank you for that. I didn't have the actual contract open in front of me. So thank you for pointing that out.
I read them all. So now I will move forward with what I have to say. Again, I want to thank the board members for approving this contract. And also I want to thank those classified who supported us. And Jason, thank you for your comments. I have some sad news, and that is that Tina Pullum, who used to work in the Child Development Center, and Gloria Kastner have both passed away. Tina's service will be this weekend and Gloria's will be in August. So it's really difficult losing those ladies. They were a treasure to our campus and they had great contributions to all of us. Also, we had the tour of the Student Services Building last month, and it was very exciting. Mike Keenan came and his wife. And so it was amazing. And Dr. Fisher was here as well. I think Steve Buffalo knows them too, but it was a nice occasion and the dinner was nice. Dr. Zeller attended and she met a lot of old timers, although they look much younger. So there must be something to that. And now I need to share a concern with you that I would like for you to, I'm going to ask that you truly hear me. Don't just listen. I want you to hear so that we can avoid, as Board President Barbara Gaines said at the last board meeting, another shit show from poor leadership. My concern is that when we hire executives at the executive level, that we expect that they're going to come in with a view to moving us forward in a positive direction, as Dr. Zeller has. I think she's been the finest example of new leadership, walking in, trying to figure out what the heck it is that we're doing, and then trying to find a way to move us along in a positive direction. But that doesn't come with all new at the executive level. We have new managers I'm not talking about at the executive level. We have deans, we have directors, we have supervisors, and they're doing their level best to keep up, to understand how collective bargaining agreements work, how to work with and properly train classified employees. But in order for them to do that, they need to have proper leadership. And that leadership at the top needs to be trained so that they're not just taking the advice of the person sitting next to them, but they actually know for themselves the difference between a good decision and a bad decision. When bad decisions are made, that impacts employees. Continued employment, they have the right to due process. However, if those in the upper executive leadership roles aren't trained properly, then they place all of our administrators at a disadvantage. And so I'm asking you as managers, I see that you have additional, that $5,000 a year for training, for collective bargaining, and for all of that. And I did question that because on the one hand, if you come in at that level, you should already know. You might have to read our collective bargaining agreement, but you should be worth your salt and know something. But on the other hand, I need the managers in the middle to be trained because they're the ones who deal with us on a daily basis. And lastly, I would ask all of you, as disciplinary actions come before you, that you really look into it and you really read it. As Michael said, that's what he does. He reads and really tries to understand what's going on and ask questions, Michael Adams. And I ask that of all of you, and I ask at the executive level that you don't just assume that the employee is always the one in the wrong. Sometimes there's always two sides to the story. Well, actually three, your side, their side, and the truth, somewhere in the middle. And so I ask that instead of taking a hard nose and dismissing classified employees based on what one has said, maybe you need to ask them some questions and look into it further. Again, I appreciate you. I appreciate all that you do in terms of your leadership of the campus. I appreciate the way that the contract was completed. As said, we do have to go back for more, but all of you have really been supportive. We haven't always agreed, but we've always been real. And that's what it takes, is being real to get things done. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ford. Confidential Management Supervisory Administrator Employees, Ms. Michelle Hernandez. You're not here, okay. And Mr. Benitez is not here either. So we will move to Antelope Valley College Foundation, Ms. Diane Knipple. No report this evening, all right. Office of Superintendent President, Dr. Zealot.
Thank you all. Thank you for your patience tonight and the sitting with us through the length of this board meeting. I am very pleased to say I made it through one whole year and now we are officially in year 2 together. So thank you all. Trustees, thank you for your support throughout this year, and to all my colleagues in the audience, the faculty and classified leadership, my leadership team, thank you all. Patty, thank you. It's been a huge learning curve, but I see great things, even greater things on the horizon, building on what was already a strong foundation when I got here. I will join the chorus of celebrating the end of the contracts. I feel like you all gave me too much credit. I really do thank our negotiating team. Thank you to Bridget Cook, our lead negotiator. Harmony, I know you were in there a long time. Shami, you joined in, and Megan was right alongside you. It was a lot of work, but things that are worthwhile always are. And when we work hard for something, then we value it and we protect it and we work with sincerity to make sure that we're all agreeing continually to what we agreed to. So yes, there's always more work to do. And double checking on the item that you mentioned, Pamela, the contract is for up to 5 years, and it's not that it must be used. It just gives the option for training as needed. Sure, yes, but I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that it was an up to, not to exceed kind of contract. So, and if I may, I mean, when anybody comes in new, we want at all levels to support everyone with the professional development they need to do their job well. And I believe in setting everyone up for success, no matter if you're an administrator, an executive, a classified professional, a faculty member, regardless of the function that you serve on our campus, everyone deserves to be set up for success. So I know that you all agree with that and will support one another as we learn together and continue to build a strong campus. So thank you all. Thank you, trustees. And I'm looking forward to an even better second year with all of you.
Okay, board member comments, Mr. Rivera.
Good evening, everyone. First, I'd just like to congratulate Mr. Rich Sim on what a legacy he has left behind. I was thinking about it the other day. My parents weren't even born yet when he first started teaching here. And that's just impressive. I'd also like to congratulate all the athletes. I'm very proud of our athletic program that we have here. And I was very impressed by all what they have accomplished this year. And I'd also like to comment that today we started our workshop for all the student leaders on campus, which includes all the students you see working inside of Sage Hall and the Learning Center. And it went really well, and we had a great workshop. And I'd like to thank you all for that. And thank you.
Your report, Mr.
First of all, thank you for your report, student trustee. It was a great report. And congratulations to Classified and the Federation on their increase. And let's make this the year that we take care of things and clean the slate. Thank you.
No report. Michelle?
Yes. I just would like to make a suggestion that although this is a temporary space, that we make a point to post our mission and vision of this college. I would like to see it around more. I've worked in education over 30 years, and my concern is always the students and what they are available to and have access to. So I think our mission and vision posted around will help us to remember who we are, why we exist, and who we serve. That's why we are all here. And I just feel like saying that. Thank you.
Thank you, board members. I want to say that I'd like to congratulate all the members on both sides of the bargaining table. I've been there before and I know it's not easy. And although I'm not sure which one of you said it, we didn't necessarily get everything we wanted, but we walked away feeling that it was a win-win for both sides. And that's a great place to land at the end of a long process. And I could say it's very exciting for myself and my colleagues on the board to be able to give a much needed raise and to acknowledge everyone's hard work over the years. It has not gone unnoticed. And so I just wanted to say that. I also known Mr. Sim for a long time. I'm honored to see that this college is honoring him for a magnificent career and dedication to Antelope Valley Community College. And I love athletics. All of our teams are just amazing. I didn't realize how hard it was to throw out the first pitch. I had to do it. I was like, oh, dear God. And when they told me they would see me in the bullpen, I was like, you got to be kidding, right? But he wasn't. So I had to go to the bullpen and practice. But anyway, so those girls playing softball and the baseball players and all our athletes, kudos to each and every one of them and their coaching staff. So that's it for me this evening. Our next, we do not need to go back into closed session. So our next board meeting is Monday, August 14th. And it's 8:53 and I will adjourn the meeting.
I gotta go get my 680 million. Is it 680 tonight or is it 450? Mike Adams?